Hello, everybody. We're the Developing a Duke AI Co-Curricular Chatbot team. My name is Mukay Akume. I'm class of 28 and I'm a mechanical engineer.
My name is Devika Shah. I'm a rising junior and I'm a computational media major.
My name is Suleyman Kadur. I'm a class of 28 and I'm a computer science major.
Before we go into our tool that we created called Bluebot, we're going to talk a little bit about the background of how it was created, who created it, and why our project exists today.
So the initial idea of creating a Duke specific chatbot came from Drew Frunze into our project. Drew Frunze is a Duke junior who created Duke Wizard, which is a ChatGPT based chatbot that was specified and trained to help students navigate academic policy and financial aid. But due to limits of ChatGPT and his time, he Drew Frunze passed on the project and the idea to Codeplus, and our team decided to continue on his idea and expand on the tools we can add to it.
Working with Drew, we were able to create our overall purpose, which is to connect the Duke community with the many Duke resources. Our tool, Bluebot, can be used to assist freshmen as they get used to the Duke environment and the Duke community as a whole. It can be an efficient use of advising so advisors don't constantly get the same questions about course material and coursework. And it can be used to explore opportunities so Duke students don't possibly miss out on events or resources that are found on campus.
Okay, so before we go into any details, we just wanted to show y'all what Bluebot looks like and what it is. So Bluebot is basically our own instance of Duke GPT. So this is what users see when they go into our website. And as you can see, circled in red, those are all the tools that we added into our Bluebot. And users can turn this on or off. We also have a disclaimer up at the top saying that Bluebot is in the development stage and that all of their chats and conversations are saved for testing, which is something we're looking to fix later on. So now we're going to go into the more technical side of things. So we got our data from two different places. It was either the plain website that we had to scrape or a JSON API. And once we had that, we made an MCP server for each one, which stands for Model Context Protocol. And what this does, it basically makes it easier for the LLM to connect to the data that we got. And once we have this, we run it on Docker and connect it on OpenWebUI. And once we have it connected on OpenWebUI, we get to test it locally and make sure there's no errors. And once that's done, we connect it to Bluebot and yeah, that's it. So some of the tools that we were able to implement into our MCP server were caching and keyword filtering. So what caching allowed us to do, it decreased the amount of times that we scraped the website. So before this, it was scraping the whole website every time the user asked a question about that specific tool. And the other thing that we added was keyword filtering, which decreased the amount of tokens used. So before the keyword filtering, it was scraping the whole website. And when we added the keyword filtering, it was only searching for those keywords that the user was asking and looking for those in the website. And what this did, it basically provided a faster and more efficient response.
So, some of you may be wondering, well, why would students go and use our tool when they can just go to ChatGPT? Well, what ChatGPT does sometimes is hallucinate. It creates these educated guesses when it doesn't quite have the correct information. For example, when we asked, what classes do I have to take my first semester as a computer science major, it said that the first class is CS 201, Data Structures and Algorithms. Well, as a half CS major, I know that this isn't true. Students have to take 101, and then if they received a 4 or higher on the AP high school exam, they could go to CS 201. It even says here that you can skip this and go to CS 230. It's taking these educated guesses based on other information besides the Duke websites. Websites like other course catalogs from other universities, Reddit, tweets, and it also doesn't provide any website links to cross-check the information with. Now, when we asked the same question using our tool, we got the correct response, saying that you have to take 101 and it could be skipped if you have the credit. It also provides website links that an advisor would provide to provide more information that is related to this question.
Similar to the Trinity Guidelines tool, we were able to implement a Pratt Guidelines tool, and we're able to ask complex questions like if I came in with Calc 1 credit and Comp Sci 101 credit, what classes should I take my first semester from an EC and CS double major, which is already a very niche question. So we were able to put that in our chat box and it's able to give us a sample schedule of classes that a freshman would take, including Calc 2, Comp Sci, and more. And we can see at the bottom that it's using our Pratt tool, get the Pratt requirements, so we know it's not pulling information and possibly hallucinating from outside of Duke websites.
We also implemented the alumni website into our tool. We didn't directly scrape the alumni database because of privacy issues, but we did take information from the website itself. For example, we asked what resources does Duke have for an undergraduate student to connect with alumni, and it provides that list of resources taken directly from the website. This is also a great tool for students to use for networking. They could ask something like, can you draft an email for me to this alumni? And then the tool would draft that email and then provide more questions as a step-by-step guidance. It would ask, do you know where to go to look for these alumni? Do you know how to find an email for an alumni? And while it wouldn't directly go to that specific data website on the alumni database, it would provide like an advising step-by-step process on how a student could reach there.
Another tool we implemented is financial aid, and we consider it really important. So what we did with financial aid is we live scraped the financial aid websites and put an MCP server directly into a chatbot. So as you can see in this user story, a person, for example, can ask, can financial aid cover my summer abroad? And GPT live scrapes the website and gives them key points of what makes the summer program eligible and how much of it is Duke prepared to pay for. And in the end, it also gives the user actual steps on how to get it done and gives them the information on where to go and what to do.
We were also able to connect with Duke groups, so we got all the club information back. So you can ask questions like what clubs on campus can assist me with finding research opportunities, and it's able to give back not just Duke affiliated clubs, but also offices of support and programs that Duke can run. So that really hones into our co-curricular aspect of this chatbot. From Duke groups, we were also able to get the events calendar. So these specific events that these clubs are throwing, we're able to get back on our chatbot. So we're able to ask what events of the URS, the Undergraduate Research Support Office, having soon, and we're able to get those events along with the dates, time, location, details, links, and more information on those websites and events.
Some other small resources that we added were the engineering major. So, for example, we use mechanical engineering in this case, and we asked it, what are the mechanical engineering minors? And what our tool did, it basically gave us a list of some of the minors that the student can take. And we decided to add these tools since the Pratt or engineering majors usually have a very strict curriculum.
One of the last tools we added was Duke courses for fall 2025. So it's a data set of 58,000 courses which we added and made it into 8,000. Out of them, there is only 1,200 actual course and classes. So in this case, what happened is a person can ask a question of what course combine philosophy, war, and science? And as you can see, the courses MCP looks through all the listing that we provided it with, and gives them the instructor, the description, the meeting time, and even the schedule of what days of the week it meets. We were able to do this through vector embedding into 384 dimensional volume, so that even if a student asks a question and talks about the topic that's not necessarily in the Duke course description, the AI will be able to find the semantic location of the word that they're searching for and then give the related courses and their schedules. Now, with all the tools that we already mentioned, we still have many things to add and we want to implement. So one of them is Duke Library and Book Search Advisor. One of the problems with Duke Libraries is the fact that students aren't able to get the recommendations and the availability of the book right on spot. So a student has to go to ChatGPT, ask for recommendations, and then see if it's available on Duke Library. We want to make it in a way where students can ask for recommendations right on the Bluebot and then see if it's available or not. Another tool is Duke Athletics and Go Duke, so that students can support their own teammates and fellow Blue Devils. And we also want to add anonymity to user information so that they can chat without being worried about anything. And the last reach goal we have is adding weekly customizable emails so that every Bluebot user can input their own interests, their own majors, and then Bluebot will go through and search for all the information available at Duke and send them weekly updates on what they should pursue and what events they can go to. With the end of this project, we hope to launch this product, and for this success, we want to thank our project leads, George Bowen and Drew Student. They've always been there and helped us with code and led us to success. We also want to thank Drew Frumta, who has always been there and supported our ideas and shared every tool that he used for Duke Wizard. And it's also our stakeholders who Candice Wattsmith and Dr. Ed. And there are also many people who are outside of our project who support us. It's Duke OIT, it's Code Plus team, and they all contributed a big piece to our team's success. And we're very thankful to the Code Plus team as well. Thank you.